Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to a bit of an introduction to some of the stuff that we are working on for Prophecy of Pendor 3.8. Now, I must make it very, very clear that this is still very much a work in progress. So if you see any bugs or wonkiness or whatever, we're working on it. It's still being worked on. This is a rough copy. We just wanted to kind of show some of this stuff off so you can see that things are still being worked on, things are still being finessed, things are improving, basically. I also personally want to say a big thank you to Mitchy, Matt, Conrad, and Snooze in particular for working so hard on this update. There are other people as well working behind the scenes, but I just wanted to name those guys by name because they really have deserved a lot of thanks and a lot of praise for this. So what are we going to show you? Well, I have a couple of things up my sleeve. The first thing, obviously, is we're bringing Clausewitz back out of retirement so he can help us out with this. I've had to do a couple of shenanigans to bring him back, but he's back and we've kitted him out appropriately. Note the lack of a horse. Actually, you probably note that. Yeah, no horse. Huzzah! Right, so, first thing. Now, in my Let's Play Mettenheim style, there were a few things shown off towards the latter stages of that Let's Play, but I don't know how many people actually caught that and whether everyone did. So I'm just going to kind of treat this as if you had not been watching that and try and introduce things as we go. So first of all, you will notice that some of the icons here have changed. Yeah, so lots of new places have got unique stuff. I think the castles are mostly the same, but we've tried to keep it a little more unique for the different locations. So Marleone's got its own, Sarleone, the Feartvane, some more of the wooden structures, which is good. And then down here, the Deshar, I'm not actually sure that they've changed. Actually, there's one being worked on for Torba right now. Bit of a spoiler. Well, not spoiler. A little bit of, stuff that's still being worked on, which I can't even show you yet. But basically, we're trying to integrate this actual river into the icon for Torba, and it should look pretty sweet. So those are a few of the more graphical surface level changes, and believe me, there is a lot of graphical updates in this. Armor is another big one, like you probably noticed here. I'm wearing Forlorn Hope plate that has been redone. I should probably have shown you the royal plate because that looks even more awesome, but that's just what I had to hand. We will be going through some of the armies, some of the orders, showing off the changes there. There are quite a few updates. There's a few changes to battles, there's a few changes to the Noldor, which I'm not going to give too much away there, but there's one thing which the developers in particular wanted me to show off. The other thing I was actually going to show you is here in Sarleone. Excuse my awesome developer skills jumping around. If we head off into the tavern, you'll notice that it is rather more busy. We have a townsman sitting there drinking, a couple of people, a musician even, Celso, well, and plus the usual people also. So yeah, taverns now actually look lived in, which is pretty sweet. I'm sure you will agree. I'm just going to see if that's true for all of them, because they said specifically to check the one in Sarleone. No, it is all of them, I think. In fact, here you can see the Knight of the Raven Spear showing off his really, really fancy new armor, and this is actually one of my absolute favorites. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Seriously, the artists in this have done an absolutely phenomenal job. Methaldoran looking a little bald. Was he always bald? I'm not sure if that's intended. Yeah, so pretty cool there. Right, so one of the other things that has been changed, wait, stay there, no, not that far, there, is we have done a bit of an update on Ravenstern. We've given them more uniform tartar tunics. Would you call that tunic? Yeah, probably. So they are actually looking more like a solidified nation, although Ravenstern's always been very proudly independent, of course, but I don't know, it just makes them look rather cooler. So we spread out a bit, so we can properly enjoy how you are looking. So we got some rangers, we've got you. I'm trying to remember if the armor has changed. I think actually most of the armor in the game has had an overhaul of some description. So the warden there, fairly sure that's been updated. The breastplates definitely have. The heraldic and the plate and stuff like that, definitely an update, looking a lot more swish. And one of the guys that's had a really big update, actually, I was trying to not show him off too much, is the Kierguard. We've made him look a bit more part of Ravenstern. I mean, he always kind of stuck out a little bit as a bit too different, and yet he's still very unique and yet really cool. So yeah, that is looking rather awesome. Next up, we have what are probably the most renowned part of Pendor. It is, of course, the Knighthood Orders. I just wanted to kind of do this little dramatic showcase, showing these guys off, running over the top of this hill and seeing the amassed elite of Pendor arranged here before us. All of these guys have had their armor updated. So you can see there a Ranger of the Clarion Call, a Knight of the Radiant Cross. Actually, theirs hasn't, because it was already updated fairly recently, although maybe it was made less baggy. No, I'm not sure. Another Radiant Raven Spear, Radiant Cross, Dawn. There we go. Nice, really nice etching. We actually kind of created our own little logo there as well. Another Clarion Call. The orders seem to be just sitting together with their own people. And then some Dawn Knights standing right next to the Eventide, looking intimidating as ever, of course. And of course, the shields have changed too. So you can see the symbol of Australia. They're proudly borne upon the Knights of the Dawn shield. Eventide there with a bit of darkness rising. Radiant Cross. Clarion Calls. Clarion. You look like oh no, you are a Raven Spear with the Raven. A couple of Shadow Legion Marinus standing here on the ground, looking very, very swish. Lady Einherjar, yes, you are a Valkyrie, aren't you? And nope, that's also a Lady Valkyrie. No, Einherjar. There's a Falcon. I was going to say that's a Lady Valkyrie. Nope, that's still not. It's a Falcon. Immortals. Another Einherjar. Empire Mortals, to go with the Immortals, of course. The Griffins, my always personal favourite. Looking very regal there. You a Falcon? You are a Falcon. I always think that the Falcons just look very prim and very proper. Just their armour just works. The colour scheme, the iconography, it just works. Over here, Ebony Gauntlets. Two different sets of armour, one with the tabard, one with the etching. Silver Mist Ranger, looking a little less shiny than they did previously, but no less awesome. Deshard Dust Rider, actually they may not have changed. Thinking about that. And yes, I know I missed a couple behind us. I'm going to go back and find them. Is this everyone that we have? There's a couple more up there. We'll go and visit them in a minute, because I know that we walked past a small group here, just before the Ebony Gauntlet, because I couldn't get through the line. We have got some Dragon Drakes. We can get a bit of a closer look up at the Ebony Gauntlet here as well. We have another Dragon Drake wearing the infamous Ravenstern Tartar that we were showing off previously, so they should blend in a little bit more with their national military. Seeing as they're the most proudly of that state, or of a state actually, compared to, say, the Lions, who are clearly their own order within Sarleon. No, the Dragons are a part of Ravenstern. Here we go. Speaking of the Lions, these are the Lion Squires. A couple more mixed in, and there is a Knight of the Lion, looking very awesome indeed. And there's a Talon of the Falcon. I'm not sure we've seen any Talons yet, have we? Yeah, we must have. And the Dragons. Oh yeah, that dragon armor is looking amazing. I don't remember looking at that good. Like, I've seen most of these in screenshots, and a couple of them were in the Mettenheim playthrough. But some of these are new. Like, I'm pretty sure the dragons weren't done yet. That is looking really good. Oh man. You can see just how amazed I am at this. I really hope that the quality of this stuff is showing through in the video. The helmets have also, some of them have changed. We've also made all the helmets actually fit, so you shouldn't see them sticking through anymore, so there's no noses poking out of the dragon helm, which I know used to be an issue there. Anyway, that is the Orders of Pendor. Next up, we have a couple of ease of use features in the game now. First of all, I want to show off the Pendor map. This is basically a strategic overview of the different factions in the game. And the cool thing about this is it will actually change depending on who owns the territory. So say if Ravenstern took this province, then this would turn blue. Or if the Empire took this one, then this would turn yellow. And if you hover over the different blocks, it will tell you precisely what holding they are, and also which holdings belong in which area. So you can see over here Ethos, the infamously urban one with its 5 villages. You can see just how big that Ethos province now is, and you can see all the different villages actually attached to it. And then Ethos itself. So that is pretty sweet, and you can turn them on or off. You can see the legend over there. The next thing that I wanted to show off are the troop tree thing. This basically shows you the exact unit progression for each of the factions. I don't think that these ones have changed, so these should all be quite familiar to you. The Feared Fane changed? Not yet. No, they haven't. This is one that we were looking at changing, but they haven't been implemented just yet. Here we go, Bacchus. Pendor. And the adventurers, different lines denoting the different routes that you can take, obviously, with each of the different branches, the Ravenstern, the Feared Fane, different adventurers. Whoops. And then mercenaries, showing off the Melitene as well. Mercenary Highlanders, Singalians, Bounty Hunters, Townsmen. Oh, it's interesting they show Militenes but not the other foreign factions. I'll have to speak to the developers about that, because we could probably do with showing those off as well. And then, the one that I've been purposefully avoiding, because this is new, are the Dashar. They have been done. This is not, I should hasten to add, this is not the final draft for the Dashar. We are still working on it. We're still working on their equipment in particular, but this should give you a pretty good idea of what they should look like now. So you can see they have a very solid infantry group. They have dedicated archers. Anything with Ghazi in the name, those are hardcore, and they're probably going to be better than you. So run away if you see a lot of them. So we've got the Ghazi Dervishes, Ghazi Spearmen, Ghazi Marksmen. They have all the bases covered. And then we wanted to make the Dashar more cavalry based. So currently the best medium cavalry is probably Pendor. Best heavy cavalry, obviously Sarleon, with Ravenstern kind of falling in between the two. Now the Dashar are the undisputed best light cavalry with their excellent horse archers, and in fact possibly even medium. I'm not sure how heavy the Dashar Ghazi Rider is, but yeah, these are really strong. And you will notice that the Scorpion Assassin is no longer on here. I think we are actually making them in order, but I don't know that one for sure, so don't quote me on that. Anyway, this is the new Dashar tree. The only one that I don't particularly like here is the Dashar Bowfighter. I think it's a horrible name. I'll have a word with them about that one. But everything else, I really love the look of this. Bowfighter just sounds really modern. It's like a warfighter. No, they're a soldier. Okay, so that is the Dashar and the troop trees and the Pendor map thing. Alright, so there was one, well actually there's something after this, but there's one big thing which I do need to address. And I've brought along a couple of additional allies to help out on this. So the Omen Seekers have been updated as well. They've got new armor, and I think some of the horses have changed as well. I have in my notes that the horses have been updated too. And then Doom Guides, for example, their Sprangenhelm, which used to look really ugly, has now been updated and looks a lot better, and in general just makes the unit look a lot more together. I believe the bows and the arrows have also been changed. Can I get you to turn around? No, I can't. We'll show you this in an actual battle, because, and there is a reason I'm bringing in so many female characters, is because we have changed the Snake Priestesses, how they look. And actually, I've just realized something. No, couldn't do it. So I'm still in debug mode, so you may get all kinds of weird errors and things appearing here. I rather hope not. So we are leading an army of our combined order troops and the Doom Guides and everything else, and we're just going to fight here. So here comes the Priestess. Faces are off. Need to get the devs to look at that. Like I said, this is still work in progress, so if there are a couple of oddities. Yeah, die, horse. How hard are you? All horses must die. This is the will of Klaus. Quill. Right, so I don't think the other snake armors have changed. No, they have. They have. The cobras have been updated, and I think the anacondas must have as well. Is that an anaconda? I think that was, yeah. So yes, their armors have also been updated. Like I said, most of the armor in the game has actually had a pretty heavy overhaul, and is looking rather awesome. I was hoping that we'd have a couple more of the women in this, because we have actually changed the women's voices. And the devs are probably going to be yelling at me that I should be playing as a female character, because that has also been overhauled. So no more of the horrible screaming. So the fact I'm playing as Klaus is probably not quite what they had in mind. Sorry! Uh-oh. Here they come. Ow, 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 ow. Ow! No, I'm down. Now, some of you might be a little bit concerned of the impact on your machines that all of these new armors will have. Well, you shouldn't be, because our artists have actually done a phenomenal job in making sure that these are all very efficiently done and extremely well optimized, actually. I think in many cases the armor is actually smaller in terms of vertices and general size of the textures than many of the old ones. So actually, it should all load up and run much more smoothly than it did in the past, which is amazing considering the improvement in quality that we have here. Just the skill of these guys, seriously, hats off to you. If I had multiple hats, I would take them all off. I don't even have one, but imagine I had. Imagine I do. Yeah, it's amazing. It truly is. Well, I think that this is pretty much everything that we had for you here. Just checking over my list of updates right now. I'm not seeing anything. I've just asked to show off this one final location, which I'm having a bit of a wander around. It's looking rather swish. And please do say in the comments if you can guess where this is. Of course, I'm not giving you any clues whatsoever. Absolutely none. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Even the statues. Look at that! It's ridiculous. Even to the extent of the equipment that these people are using has been modified specifically for Pendor. Like, that is the attention to the detail that our artists have. I mean, it is... Man, it's mental. This is shaping up to look rather fantastic. Now, this is, of course, not everything that we are working on. This is just what the developers asked me to show off to you guys. We do have a few more things in store. Hopefully, we'll be able to show those in the future. I don't know anything about release dates. That's still not even on the horizon right now, I would say. I don't know for sure. I'm not that involved. I'm involved to an extent. I do a bit of the writing and a bit of the text, and of course I do a lot of the lore stuff still for the developers, but all this like more detailed things, the art features, all of that type of thing, I just kind of sit there going, this is amazing, keep going, it's brilliant, yeah, that's awesome. My job's really quite easy with the Pendor team. It's just kind of giving everyone kudos, which is no hard thing, I'm sure you will agree. I'm trying to rack my brain very, very hard if there was anything else that I needed to show off, but I really don't think there is. So that is a thank you from me. If you have enjoyed this showcase, then please do let me know with a like. And if you haven't done so already, then please do consider subscribing. And there will be, of course, more Pendor stuff on this channel in the future. And please do show your appreciation to the developers, both in the comments below. I'm sure that they'll read them, as well as on the forums. That's the Tailworlds forums. And on the Facebook page, if you're not there already, it's facebook.com/I assume Prophecy of Pendor. I'm just going to double check that real quick. Yeah, facebook.com/prophecy-of-Pendor. If you haven't gone on there already, I do recommend it because we do post a lot of updates there as well. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.